friends, counting sheep, and it's been a while since I've done just a regular trigger video, so that's what I'm going to do tonight. And I've got this old table runner that would have been, I don't know what you call this. Oh, embroidered. That's the word I'm looking for. Embroidered by my grandmother on my mom's side, who died when I was pretty little, so I barely remember her. But this, I'm pretty sure, came from her. This beautiful tatting or crochet edge. It's just incredible. In fact, maybe I'll hold that up so you can see the detail on that. Just incredible, the time that went into this. And I always think about how they were cleaning. They would be cleaning, you know, washing everything by hand, drying everything, and just, you know, the diapers alone. How did they find time for doing something sweet and special like this? And so you could see that it would make it even more special and sweet to get something like this, because you knew how limited time was. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is play with, I've got it here. I did this entire video once, but the fridge was so loud in the background, so now I'm in my bedroom where I keep my usual setup for ASMR. It's been so nice to be able to do that again with my new apartment and this microphone, so we'll hope this works. So we're going to make these little football shaped, that's what we used to call them when we were little, with our baggies. It's a great way to store them rather than just shoving them all inside of another bag. And I don't know if you're like me and you like things to look a little bit organized. This is a way that a friend taught me that's just so easy, and many of you may do this already. But you know, when you were little, you would fold paper into what we called these little footballs. It's really just a triangle, and people would make a goalpost with their hands and hold it up at the end of their desk or table, and then you would take your paper football and flick it and try to get it through their goalpost. I don't know if any of you did that as kids, but that's the shape, and that's the technique we're going to use too. So, and sometimes, you know, you fold your little straws up that way too and flick them. Well, I'm going to use, let's see, I'll tuck this under here. I'm going to use a Winco bag and just show you how you can easily fold these. I'm going to do it a little slower, but once you get it down, it's super fast. So I'll set that aside. And Winco Foods is now hiring, if you didn't know. I love Winco. That's my go-to for, well, I live near one now, but if you have one near you, they have the best bulk foods. And I grind my own almond butter using their ground almonds, and they have a little thing there that grinds it, and it's very reasonably priced compared to what you pay for it in regular grocery stores, ready-made, or ready packaged, I should say. Okay, so you want to first take the edge of the bag, and you know how they're kind of widened when you carry everything in it. So just tuck your thumb into that little nook and put your other thumb at that end so that you straighten out that edge on both sides. And then we're going to take it and fold it in half. And if you fold it with the word side inside, then it's even a little bit cleaner looking, but you don't have to do that. Now, you can start from either end, so you can fold this up and start the football that way, but the air tends to get trapped on the other side when I do that, so I prefer to start this way. And you just take that one of the corners, doesn't matter which one, and fold it up to match the line on the other side. And then you have kind of a 90-degree edge there that you're going to use as your fold line for the next bit. And if you just kind of keep the air pressed out as you go, you can eventually get very quick at it. But that keeps them a little neater, and it lets you store even more of them. I keep them in a little tray under my sink, and then you just pull one out and undo it when you need a bag, which I use for my trash can liners. I live in an area that does not recycle, which is so discouraging. But anyway, so this is my way of reusing the bags if I forget to bring my own inside, which I do too often. So then when you get to the end, you can fold one more and then do it, but I typically about here take this end and you'll see that there's a little slot always on each side. So you just tuck it over the end of the side that you just folded, and then you have your little neat baggie. And they're just kind of nice. They stack up and they get out of the way and they take up a lot less room this way. And then they're just always handy when you need them. I'll play with those for a little bit and see if that sound is relaxing for you. Okay, next up, I get these at the dollar store, which is now the $1.25 store pretty much, because everything now has been moved up to $1.25, which I totally accept, because the reality is everything's gone up. It's harder to find people who will take jobs, so if that means that people can get paid a little bit more for what they're doing, I appreciate that I still can go to the $1.25 store. And there are so many things that I get there. I really don't know what I would do without it. I get my Tylenol, acetaminophen. Things are just so much less expensive there than they are in a regular grocery store. So let's do one more. So these, as you can see, are little glass, baubles, half circles, and they're also half bubble that way. The bottom kind of has a sheen to it that looks like it, let's see, there we go. That looks like it's got, on a surface that glazes it just a little differently, probably a little hotter there on the bottom. And then they really do shimmer in the light nicely. So what I like to do, if I can get that in frame for you, what I like to do is get them and put them in. If I make a little bowl garden, you can make a little fairy garden, as you've seen some of my videos before, or just in a garden you can run a ribbon of like a little river through it. And even if that's all that's in your little terrarium or potted garden, potted plants, it really adds something fun to it. It adds a nice dynamic to it. So let's see, what am I doing? I've got two colors. I'm trying to keep them all in a different order. There we go. That one and that one. And then this needs the turquoise color. So there's 4 colors. Turquoise, kind of a cobalt blue, a green, and a clear glass. So we'll just put one more cobalt blue on there, and then we have some shapes to play with. So I think, in fact, I'm going to do, I had lotion on my hands, so there's a little bit of that residue on the table, so pardon that. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. That looks better. Okay, so we're going to just kind of play with these for a minute. I'm going to drop them in my hand, and then I'll maybe make some shapes with them. As well on the black, can ya? That's on that lighter fabric, but we'll see. And they're all slightly different sizes and shapes. Like that one's a little more oval. Some of them are a little more round. But they're really lovely, and I've seen people even use them as kind of tiles, where you put a bonding agent on a backsplash, or through a little thread in your tiles, and I've seen them use these. I think there's YouTube videos on it, and press them in and then put the grout around them, and they're just beautiful. And for $1.25, a little bag, that's not bad. So there's a little diamond shape. Let's see. A little paisley, just playing around. There we go. Yeah, I can see there's a little lotion on this. This is kind of my TV table tray. And it really holds whatever's on there. It leaves a residue pretty easily. But it's about the right size for what we're doing here. So we'll see. All right, now I'm going to put it back in the jar. I got this at the $1.25 store too. It's nice for all kinds of things. You can use it to store things in. I had one gal when I was waiting in line say, I put my utensils in these. I said, oh, that's great. I use these for little planters. I'll get a little cup and poke holes in it and set it inside if I want to do a transplant, and then put the leaves or, you know, the little tiny start of a plant in there. And then you can, once the plant starts to take, you can give them as little gifts to people, and it's kind of nice. My kitchen table was not as noisy, the wood. The wood is different and it's a little easier. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, Dollar Tree. That's where I got both of these from. You could even use that to stick something in and make those the anchor. All right. Next up is, I've got two more things. So this is just a bag of flaxseed meal. But this bag has a nice texture to it that's not quite as harsh as a regular plastic bag. So I thought I would play with that because that is a big trigger for me. And it's flaxseed meal, Bob's Red Mill. What I learned about flaxseed, most people probably know that it's high in omega-3 fatty acids. Let's see, I'll turn that over. It's got protein and lots of fiber. So there's a lot of nutrients in flaxseed. But what I've also learned is that when you just buy flaxseed whole, your body actually does not digest much of it. It just kind of passes through your system, kind of like, you know, how corn, you see it on the other end. So flaxseed is similar. It doesn't really fully digest in your system. If you Google it, you'll see. So I have now learned that, you know, I don't grind my own. I have a grinder, but I just buy it, the meal, where it's already ground. And now I put that in with my oatmeal in the morning and chia seeds. And it kind of gives it a little more body. And hopefully it's good for us. There's a lot of conflicting information out there anymore with keto and paleo, and there's so many different diets, and the Mediterranean diet, and they really have, many of them, contradictory information. So you just kind of have to do your own research and listen to your body and, you know, maybe look at your blood work and see what the results are. All right, flaxseed meal. Yeah, I put this in my oatmeal, and I'll put it in if I'm making a smoothie or something. I'll do that as well. And I love flax flowers. When you see them out in the wild, they're such a pretty blue. They look more purple here, but they're kind of that pretty periwinkle blue when you see them out in the landscape. Okay. I liked the texture of that bag. It's kind of got a matte finish. And it's just a little quieter than a regular paper bag. All right, my last thing. We're going to play with this Kinetic Sand. It's scented. And it smells a lot like cookie dough. That's the scent of it. You can see, in fact, it shows cookies on there. And the only problem is it smells so much like cookie dough that I would hate to give it to a child, because if they were little enough and couldn't help themselves, they would be eating it, because it really does smell like cookie dough. All right, we're going to dump it out. This is something that lots of ASMR artists play with. And I have never done it before, so we're going to play with it. It's got that crazy stretchy quality as well as a granular quality. So it has, it will allow me to compact it and make it into a dense ball. And it also lets me stretch it apart and fills it with air. So I'm so curious how they make this. I remember slime as a little kid was kind of the big thing, slime and silly putty. I'm going to just play with it. And then I'll just, I'll talk for a minute, and then I'll stop talking and just let you have some silence and just look at the visuals before you go to sleep. And I'm just going to play with shapes. And then I'll just wave goodbye when I'm done, okay? Thank you so much for taking time and stopping by. I do appreciate it.